Good one. Yeah, we didn't know that before. Yeah, through our mistakes, we learn. So again, welcome back, everyone. And I'm I'm actually amazed at how much we can listen. So kudos to all the online participants and the ones here. Amazing, like clapping for all of us. Really, how much? So first of all of us have to come out of their caves, which is be present on the camera. Come on. I don't have much to say. Everything has been said. So show your faces. This is making a sound. Hmm? Yeah. Everyone, yeah. And we all are very, very wise people. This much I know, although our faces were hidden, but I know all of us are very wise people. Yeah, please come out, because this is you will be talking, not me. We actually have heard from many angles about progress. And I have a feeling that, of course, we can touch upon anything that we feel has not been addressed. But I think we have really, through all the speakers, we have taken many, many different angles uh, to integral yoga and progress. So, how I want to use up this, say, 55 minutes or so is, first of all, I would like to ask each one of the participants here also and the online ones, anything that you feel has not been touched, any part of progress, do you feel that there is something that we should have talked about but has not been touched? Yeah, if there is something in your mind that, oh, this should have been talked about or addressed, here also, if there is anything that we feel is not touched. Good one. Yeah. Okay. So it's a feeling, it's a general feeling that many aspects have been covered. That is what I take from your silence, if there is silence. So I was also wondering on what has not been touched. And of course, when I looked at each one of the speakers and their essences, really, we had touched, if not talked in detail, at least we have talked about the name of that aspect and left it up to all of us to now explore. One aspect which I felt could be further talked about, or maybe we can think about it, is of course, I saw that it is one of the qualities, 12 qualities, and it is humility. So see, we are all progressing, है ना? सब रेस में टक 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 कोई किसी से आगे कोई इधर, we of course, as a matter of being human beings, we compare also, let us be very frank about it. What is missing in us, most of us who have even been on the path for many, many, many years, is humility. So, with progress, I think it is a mark of true progress that there is true humility in the being. Because I have had many, many encounters of people being on the path many, many years, claiming to be devotees and bhakts of whoever, not really only Sri Aurobindo and Mother, but others also, and with such a strong ego, like I am the one. So as long as we have still this superiority complex about ourselves, do you think that progress has been achieved? Think about it. We have to think about it. What we lack in today's world, if we go about, is not scholarliness. We all are scholars. We all have enough access to books. We all have studied in good universities. अपने घर पे भी, we all have many many books and collection of library of books and everything. पोथी पढ़ पढ़ जग बया, पंडित भया न कोय, ढाई आखर प्रेम के, पढ़े सो पंडित होए. So can we, in each one of us, can we look at our life, day to day life, and see our interactions with my family, maybe strangers, maybe the people you meet on the departmental store, on the way you are, crossing, maybe, taking a road and crossing. And then how do we behave on the road? Do we brake? Do we speed up? Do we not give space to pedestrians? No matter how, what I may talk in this hall, it's irrelevant because I don't behave outside accordingly. So I feel that this is one aspect which I feel that it's like a trap, because we read too much. We listen to too much. YouTube is available. We listen to too much. Free workshops, free online discourses, thousands and millions of them. And we think that the true change has happened in me. But the moment I go outside, meet somebody from my family or a stranger on the street, how do I behave? And mother says true humility is not humility that, oh, people are saying, oh, that is a very humble being. No, we don't have to begin to pretend again. True humility is to actually know for a fact that we are nothing but for the divine. Who is breathing through you? Do you have control over your breath? Who is making you progress? I, for sure, I can say about myself, I never had any conscious aspiration to progress. All progress that may have come is through the challenges of life, the experiences of life, and the slaps that we get from life. So we don't have to be worried too much about progress. It will happen, it is happening. We all are on the path. But on the way of this running, and we are all, going towards something beautiful, higher, and something, more profound and full of light and consciousness. Not to forget to have the feet on the ground. Not to forget that an aeroplane, if we want to take off, it requires a lot of running on the ground. Without that, it cannot take off. So not to forget the ground. And it makes me actually mostly in tears that today we are all sitting here with relatively good health, right? Relatively good minds that we can understand what so many speakers are saying. How do you think you are responsible for your health? Yes, yes. It is granted to us. And we don't know how many people have prayed for us without us knowing that they are praying for us. So, gratitude, another one of those qualities rarely discussed. Of course, discussed, but gratitude. What a mind we have. So many lessons and extracted the essence out of every session that we listen to. Such a capacity of listening. So mother says on humility, I want to just use this time to, there is also, I think by Oro publications, so they publish free ebooks. They have compilation of humility also, if those of us who are interested. So mother says humility is that state of consciousness in which whatever the realization, the infinite is still in front of you. This we see very clearly in mother's prayers and meditations. Oh my God, how many experiences and realizations she already has. And yet she's saying, I am such an unworthy instrument, and may this, transformation happen to anybody, any being who is more capable. So may we not forget in this understanding of progress that how thankful, how grateful we have to be to each and every moment, each and every person that we see and interact with, and those that we don't see and interact with also. So be kind. And kindness doesn't mean, of course, that you go and hug a stranger. It can mean at times. Kindness can also means a slap. Doesn't matter. But what I am saying is that we have to watch over our superiority complex. We all have much superiority complex. That, I am the one walking the path. I know better because I have studied Mother and Sri Aurobindo. As long I feel personally for me, as long as I have this I-ness in me, which is more righter than the other person, lot of progress needs to be made. So progress in that spiritual respect, that would not then mean, you know, getting a new badge like a star that we get in police or army. No, it's like removal of all the badges, that you're happy to be nobody. You don't need a badge anymore. How beautiful. Rid of all the badges and yet feeling so abundant, feeling so abundant in within you. And then offering your best to the world outside. Because we were talking about progress through karma, through work. How do we interact with other people? And I find it amazingly stark that in the best of institutions, so called spiritual, you will find the most toughest of the people who have inflated up their ego because of the so called spiritual practice. So think about humility. We have to think about humility. We don't have to ignore humility. That's what keeps us on the ground. Somebody asked Mother, when an aeroplane crashes, some people die and some are safe. Why is it that grace behaves differently? Like some are saved because of the grace and the others do not have that much of grace. We Some of us may have heard about this anecdote. Every time I see an aeroplane, this is what crosses my mind. Mother says, "What do you think?" She almost like says, "What kind of a question is that?" That when every day aeroplanes are moving about in the sky, nobody talks of grace. Why do you think they are flying? And you talk of grace when it has an accident and some are saved and some are not saved. So every day we go out, we come back to our loved ones or wherever you live. What grace? So to know humility is to know that we are nothing without divine grace. Even personal effort. Who is making you do the personal effort that is required for progress? Who is making you aspire? हमारे बस का कुछ है नहीं. Who is making me aspire? Grace. So to be knowing for a fact, not just mostly in theory, but for a fact that we are nothing if not for divine grace. And then we are all on the same ground. So I would request all of us to take this home, and because this is our responsibility, because we are in the spiritual domain. The way we behave, people take spirituality for that. They will say that, no, I have met this spiritual person and he was the most arrogant I found on earth. They turn back from spirituality. So we have to be very responsible and more simple, not more sophisticated. The mind is already too sophisticated. We don't need more. We need simplicity. So Mother says to Champaklal ji, be simple, be happy. How difficult it is. Try to be happy when a person has shouted at you and insulted you, and you're trying to be simple. That's our challenge. Be simple, be happy. That's again mark of a progress. So something stark may have happened outside in the family or wherever at the workplace, and you are simple and happy. Possible. Mother says it's possible. letting go of all how I wanted the situation to be and how the other person did not, you know, follow what I said. Letting go of all that baggage immediately, instantly. Why? Because the promise is there. You have promised that, see, what I promised to the mother, be simple and happy. Okay, I am going to be an ideal child of the mother. So, humility, simplicity, and staying cheerful, cheerful endeavor. And cheerfulness, of course, doesn't mean that I have to show my teeth all the time, but in general, light in the heart. Not, wanting respect and name and fame from everyone and wanting to be somebody. Oh, why didn't, somebody smile at me and acknowledge me? This main bhav, this I-ness, always thinking about me, 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 me. If we look at our thoughts, most of the stuff is about me. How sad. So in prayers and meditations, Mother says increasing amount of self-forgetfulness. Now you don't wonder about yourself anymore. What is lacking in my life? Oh, less progress, more progress. How do I make myself more happy? Come on, man. How long will we think about ourselves? Aren't we tired of that? I feel so tired at times, this obsessive, self-obsessive thinking about yourself and your growth and everything. So letting go of that. That makes us cheerful because now we are not serving to meet our ends. That mere ko mil jaye. I should get it. I should get there first. May the other get it first. Give it away. And do all that you can do so that the other gets it first. Step aside. So in Buddhism, they talk about a bodhisattva. So bodhisattva, they say, is the one that who is putting everyone in the boat if there is, something flood or something and you have to cross a major problem. You are putting everyone in the boat and you are making sure no one person remains in the storm. You get on last and maybe you don't get even, but you make the other person be in the safer zone. That is progress. One aspect again. So become conscious. Let's become conscious of our obsessiveness about our own self. Let's become conscious of our obsessiveness of, you know, always thinking about how good I am or how bad I am and what the other person said to me and this me, man. Because supramental, of course, when we talk about supermind, supramental, we talk of the divine. And divine के साथ मैनेस नहीं रह सकती. With the divine, two cannot be, जब मैं था तब हरि नहीं. अब हरि है तो मैं नहीं. प्रेम गली अति सांकरी जामे दो समाये नाए. So this path of love and transformation, two cannot exist, the ego and the divine. Or the ego and the other, because wherever the ego is, other will be there. Me and the other. So many speakers were touching upon the aspect of oneness. So for now, we can forget about that. And right now we come to having our feet on the ground, being happy to be nobody, not wanting to be the first in the race, and in fact, propelling others to be first if they want to be going ahead. Stop, brake. There is a brake in your vehicle. Brake. Apart from acceleration, this Pondicherry streets, we were wondering that people don't stop as if they don't have brakes in their vehicles. They only accelerate and accelerate and accelerate. They're happy to hit a person walking, but they don't have a brake. We have a brake, at least in the heart. So brake. And of course, not everybody is alike. So there were some people who were very slow and stopping also, slowing down for pedestrians. Mark of respect for them, that they know how to brake. So learning something from them, that kind of a life is also possible. That there is no rush to reach anywhere. And if we want to become grounded, I think one of the good things to do is to go through Mother's prayers and meditations. How grounding. She's doing everything that she can do. But she is not saying, I want to reach somewhere. It's through me that the work has to be done. Imagine Divine Mother, and she also saying that it's okay, happy to be in the back seat. But again, we have to see that this humility can truly come in us only when we actually factually realize that actually, I land up in the hospital and suddenly I'm unwell. So far, I was well, nothing in my hands. Of course, if we look into the occult, picture, you will see that your thoughts may have created the disease and now your thoughts can bring you out. Of course, yes, that is there. But so far, you were healthy. So every day we are healthy, every day our mind is healthy, every day there is so much potential we have of giving and offering ourselves to people. How much do we make use of it? How much can I remain simple and happy without complicating my life and others' life? We can think about this. These are just a few aspects which I thought we can think about. Again, Mother says true humility is humility before divine. It's a precise, exact, living sense. So you know it in your blood that you are nothing without the divine. So it is a precise, exact, living sense that one is nothing. One can do nothing, understand nothing without the divine. Hmm. Mother says, one must not neglect having a small dose of humility. Like a medicine, like a daily dose of medicine, homeopathic medicine. And then Mother continues, one must not neglect having a small dose of humility, a sufficient one, she says. One must never be satisfied with sincerity, always want more sincerity. So, although we have all progressed too much if we look back in our lives, what we were and what we have become, but there is so far still to go. So, to be aware of that also. Because if I am aware of my imperfections and my weaknesses right now, then I can't have spiritual ego. It's impossible. Because I see then everyone as at a same ground. Yeah, I have desires. See, the other person also reacted through desires. It's okay. We do that thing rather than becoming angry or resentful of another person. So watching our behavior, because our behavior speaks more than our words, and our behavior is influencing a lot of people. We may or we not may not know that. So be very, very cautious that, and of course, in our behavior, what will come out? My true realization is only going to come out in my behavior. I can't pretend in my behavior. If I'm angry, I'm angry. So you can't pretend in your behavior. So any true realization that I have, it will come out in my behavior. And through that, I would know where I need to work. And then thoughts of feeling superior over the other person, thoughts of judgment, becoming conscious, just becoming conscious. We were talking of that. We become conscious, we see, oh, it's still there. We don't react or talk out of it. We see, oh, this thought of superiority is still there. You can let it hanging around. You don't have to act through it. But knowing that it's still there. And that makes me humble because, see, we all are full of these things. So if there is anything from any participants, please talk out any moment. We don't have to wait until the end because now it's towards the closing sessions. If there is anything that you would want to share or ask or anything, asking, I don't know how much I can answer, but just to share because, yeah, please, Kevin. Yeah. We can't hear you. Why can't we hear you? Yeah.
Am I audible now?
Now audible. Yes. Go ahead.
Okay, so you were saying about humility and knowing that mother is doing everything and all of that. So previously, before a couple of years, I had that kind of mental state, like everything is happening with the grace of mother. Without her, I'm not, I'm nothing like that. I had that kind of understanding. But the problem at that state of mind is that I seem to uh, get settled with that state of mind. Like everything is happening because of mother. So I did not have the aspiration. I saw that the aspiration got a lot lesser, and I did not make any new efforts. Actually, prior to that, before 1 or 2 years, when I had the aspiration for progress and when I wanted to succeed in what I do, I created multiple products, and even though it is a competitive field, I gained a lot of clients, and everything was good. And after that, even after achieving it, and after I got that humility, like mother is doing everything because prayers got everything done. I wouldn't say like it was my effort or anything. Prayers got everything done, from creating the product to getting sales, getting clients, everything. So after I realized that everything is happening because of mother, I stopped making products. I can just ask for more clients, and I can just ask for more income in the current product that whatever I have. So that sort of getting settled sort of thing that happens. How do I overcome that?
Yeah. So I think first we have to understand that humility is just one of the aspects that we have touched, you know. So it is along with other aspects. It's not only humility, right? The other thing is that ups and downs, stagnancy and running around are parts of life until we reach such a stature that it's only progressing ahead and no stagnancy. For a very, very long time, there will come periods of, like, you know, we listen to how Vedic rishis had times of extreme darkness and then light, and extreme darkness and then light, like, you know, like waves. And then, of course, whatever, you know, that they went ahead and ahead. So it's okay, it's completely fine. It's through these phases of stagnancy and again light, and stagnancy and again light, that we march ahead. It's like a little child wanting to walk. From crawling to walking in one jump, I would say rarely a child would be able to do. You know, maybe a special child, I don't know. But usually we fall, we stand up, we fall, we stand up several million of times. Then we start to walk straight. So I think we allow these times of stagnancy. The creation has allowed these times of stagnancy. And there was something still in you which brought you up from stagnancy, right? And you might sink into stagnancy again, because we can't be sure, you know, of the paths that we take. We can't be sure. So I would say that it's allowed. It's allowed, and it's part and parcel of life, right? Imperfect life that we have. And we can't say that I would not want any stagnancy and I would only want progress, because then it will become very aggressive. We have to be aware of that aggression also. See, in the worldly sphere, we see aggression, buying aggression, shopping aggression, you know, consumerism. I want to be the head of my company. Or on the roads, we see aggression. I want to be the first in the red light or whatever, right? We don't want the same thing happening in the spiritual domain. Then nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. So we allow these periods. And if we see many, many good mystics had long, long periods of depression. 10, 11 years of depression. Byron Katie, Jeff Foster, Eckhart Tolle, especially the contemporary ones. So, and even Sri Aurobindo talks of period of stagnancy and depression. So I think it's part of life, and we just grow through it also. There is nothing that, you know, can stop us. Yeah, yeah. Thank you. Anything else? Anyone? Okay, so if we are here for progress, then it means the difficulties will come, as we have all been, you know, listening from various speakers. Difficulties will come because it's only the difficulty when it is in front of me. Then I try to change it or traverse it, and then I progress, right? So, somebody asked the mother, she used to have sessions with the children. And one day, mother was talking that what is the purpose of life and why are we all here? And children were asking mother that what should we do? So mother said, she made a list, and I find it a very nice list. And she says, this is why we are here. Where there is hatred, you change into harmony. Hmm? So, ready to take hatred face on. Whenever hatred comes to us, we should not say, oh, why is it coming to me, or shrink. Ready to take it face on, because that's the task. Hatred to harmony, jealousy to generosity. So, wherever we have in us the touch of hatred, the touch of jealousy, becoming conscious, trying to transform, and the ways of transforming have been discussed already. So, jealousy to generosity, ignorance to knowledge. Hmm? And not, यहाँ पे ignorance doesn't mean that not knowing a capital of this or that country. Ignorance would mean I don't know myself. I don't know who I truly am. So turning that towards self-realization, knowledge in whatever little degree we can. Turning darkness to light. So Gitanjali earlier was talking about story of creation. Everything turned to its opposite. So that's why mother is saying, क्योंकि वो opposite हो गया, everything has turned to opposite. Why are you sent here? You are sent here so that you can bring it to the light counterpart. Hatred to harmony, jealousy to generosity, ignorance to knowledge, darkness to light, falsehood to truth, wickedness to goodness. So whenever we see a pinch of wickedness in us, we do see it very often. Those of us who are conscious about it, it comes very often. Wickedness, ill will, right? Catch it. You were able to maybe eat the last piece of whatever was left and take it for yourself. Leave it for the other person. So to turn wickedness to goodness. Hmm? One day, something happened. Uh, Maybe, I don't know where, here or somewhere else. I was in a shopping mall, and I was accumulating a lot of maybe cucumbers in my bag. And only last 2, 3 pieces were left. And then suddenly some other customer came. And of course, he was also looking at cucumbers, which were all in my bag. So it was so funny. I took it out and, of course, offered him, half of it. So stepping back from this, our greed, that I should have more and the best and the most light I should have. So knowing our wickedness, becoming conscious of the wickedness and offering it, outside. Turning war to peace. War, we don't have to go to global wars here. We have to look at our inner wars going on. So first the inner wars and the wars within our family and the loved ones, these cold wars kind of happening all the time, between our workplace members. So to turn war into peace. Then mother says fear into fearlessness. Fear of anything. Doing something which you may not have done for many years. Jumping into it, plunging into it. Just for the sake of exploring your being. That you can do it. Yes. Uncertainty to certainty. We are uncertain about things, whether this will happen, that will happen. With a certitude, you visualize what you want in front of you. If it's good, it should happen, like a certitude. Doubt into faith. Mother says we have to transform doubt into faith. Confusion into order, again, within the being, outside of the being, both. And defeat into victory. So whenever we encounter the counterparts, which are the ugly parts, the dark parts, when we wonder why me, then is the period of change. Then is that period of progress. So our errors, our mistakes are his steps on the way. Sri Aurobindo says in Savitri, there is nothing called error. You have not made any mistakes in your life. Through your mistakes, you have grown. Through my mistakes, I have grown. So experiences in life are the ways in which we progress. Whether we want it or not, God doesn't bother. That's his compassion. That's the compassion of the divine, that he doesn't bother whether we want progress or not. He plunges us into the field of progress. Then we may be complaining, oh, you cruel one, how much you have given me. tears and loneliness and all of that, which I did not ask for. But he knows what he is doing. Mother knows what she is doing. Because what they can see from us caterpillars, how we are going to turn into butterflies, we cannot see that. You know? But the divine can see the already the butterfly that we are, that like mother used to see. Mother used to see the best possibility in every person who met the mother. So the divine already sees that, okay, this person is capable of this much, but me as that person, I don't see it. So when that carving or chiseling is happening on me, I said, oh my God, no, it pains, it hurts. Part of progress. Endurance is part of progress. When the rock is being sculpted, it has to endure the pain. We all have to endure. So endurance is one more keyword, I think, which we were not able to touch in that detail. Maybe, yes, in other aspects, yes. So endure, because we will have to endure if something is progressing. We will have to endure the pain of the old tendencies going away. I have felt in my own self that when the older tendencies are ready to shed off their skin, it hurts. But you now are ready to take that hurt joyfully. So that will be endurance. It's like Sri Aurobindo refers at one point of time that it's like a skin is peeled off from you. How would it feel? It will, like you are burning. If somebody is peeling off skin, and even if the skin is old and shattered, when it burns, when you are working in the kitchen, you get burned. Huh? So then the skin becomes brown. Then the new one has to come from below. The old one has to be torn off. And then we see that when even the old one is being torn off, it hurts, itches. So we have to apply coconut oil, which we have enough in Pondicherry. Apply coconut oil on that itchy skin. Treat it with care. So endure the pain of letting go of the old skins. Because when progress is happening, this will happen. We will have pain. Yes, yes, yes. And even if it's falling on its own time, something or the other sensations we will keep feeling. So we be okay with that organically in the flow. Okay, I don't want to disturb the class, but still your voice is very, very low. What can I do? Maybe it's meant to be, Kevin. You have heard enough. No? We all have heard enough, and it feels like we should not be talking too much. Yeah, kidding. It doesn't matter. Don't bother much. We all have enough of information. The only thing is now to put it in practice and to be good human beings, first of all. And in each and every aspect of, see, we talk about superhumanity. Do you think, even commonsensically, that if we are not a good human being first, we can go to superhumanity? Think about it. No, at least at the rung of the ladder where we are, to be the best version of ourselves is our responsibility. Later we can talk about superhumanity. So to, as all the speakers were hinting at, to be the better and better and better version of ourselves, always keeping our ground on, feet on the ground, that you are not a big person, no matter how many times you may have read spiritual books and everything, because that bigness is what is killing each one of us. So to be happy to be a nobody, to be very conscious of this I-ness that we carry all along. Me, me, me. I'm just reiterating. And then how do we, the symptoms that come out of that growing selflessness, increasing amount of peace and stillness in your life, within your being. Less distraction from so-called outer happenings. Because as you were talking earlier, that now this crow, do I consider is as a distraction, or do I take it in my embrace, right? So then, somebody was meditating and they complained that these people are making some construction renovation work here and I can't meditate. They complain to the mother. And mother says, excuse me, what kind of a meditation is this that you need complete absolute silence outwards? In the midst of everything, you should be able to meditate. That's true meditation. So we have to stop being a snob for spirituality, to be more ordinary, more like doesn't matter. And when I'm saying doesn't matter, of course, we are following a discipline, but not becoming a snob out of that discipline. Hmm? Because that doesn't serve the purpose well. We are becoming a contradiction in our own being. So, and then mother says growing joy, peace, growing self forgetfulness. Then mother also says, then your crisis, your difficult situations or inner turmoils are of shorter duration. So you will go through the same tendency again, same thing will trigger you, but now earlier maybe 2 days you were in that melancholy, now in 1 hour you are out of it, like that. No part of your being is now supporting that melancholy or sadness or too much focus on yourself. So you're out of it quickly. Hmm? So crises are of shorter duration since you have no interest in suffering as such. You're not enjoying the suffering. And then the other aspect, one of the other aspect is that whenever you do anything which is discordant with the highest in you feel a pang in your heart. दर्द होता है, ये दूसरे टाइप का दर्द है, ये वो एंड्योरेंस वाला दर्द नहीं है. Now what happens is mother says in prayers and meditations that although in theory my whole being is consecrated to thee, O sublime master, and yet whenever I do something which is contrary to you, I feel a pang in my heart, something like that. So we also begin to feel that pang. If not a pang, an unease that something I said was not right. It's a very good signal. And it's a different kind of a pain. This is the pain which tells me that I did something which was not in alignment with my truth. So we are growing in the alignment with the truth. Now we are, like a responsible citizen. We stop at the red light. We go at the green light, like that. We are following the inner guidance more and more. So we have to be conscious of that unease because that will be our inner compass. Where did I go wrong and how can I correct it? Like that. Hmm. So I'm just looking at, I think this is all. Yeah. One more thing that I had written to share, which I found very interesting. In Isha Upanishad, they say, one of the verse, they enter into blinding darkness who worship avidya. Into still greater darkness do they enter who delight in Vidya. I wonder about this, that he's saying that into greater darkness they go who delight in Vidya. And this exactly resonated with what I had in my mind to share today, that to become a snob about virtues, I am the right one, I know the right way. We are the ones here in Sri Aurobindo Society who know the way to, the outside people, maybe not. So those who blindly worship avidya, of course, they go into darkness, he says, but they go into still greater darkness who only take delight in vidya. So vidya, avidya, when we are able to see at one, both of them as like the sides of a coin and not separate from each other. Acceptance we were talking of earlier. Then we will stop being a snob and be a regular, normal individual, which is, the need of the hour because we have all kinds of weirdness around, but ordinariness, like we are not wanting to be somebody. We are happy being who we are and grateful for what the divine has given us. And making the best use of that opportunity, of course. So we should, like that little book that Aditi was referring, there is also another little book that I thought is very good for us, which is The Ideal Child. Have you seen that? It's a small little booklet. And on the appearance, it may seem that it is only for the children entering the school, but we are all children of the mother. Ideal child. So their mother says he should follow the rules when he's in the playground, he should sleep well, eat well, in gratitude for the divine. So read that book. It's a very small little booklet. I find it very beautiful because it's very challenging. And when I first laid my hands over it, I thought, oh my God, what a difficult task for a child. And I am also a child, you know. I can't expect my children to follow the ideal child when I myself am not following the ideal child. It's quite impressively difficult if we line to line follow what mother has suggested in the ideal child. So we'll close with one few lines from mother's prayer, and then we can take last comments before we cut off for lunch. So in mother's prayer from December 29, 1913, she says, at every moment we must shake off the past like falling dust, that it may not soil the virgin path which at every moment also is opening before us. What is the past for practical purpose? Something happened. Yeah, I'll repeat. Yeah. Something happened, and you are still carrying that lingering insult or whatever in your heart. And you are acting, spoiling your mood according to that. So this is what, for day-to-day moment. In a moment, I have to let go of that burden that just came onto me. So mother says, at every moment, we must shake off the past like falling dust, that it may not soil the virgin path which at every moment also is opening before us. And then she invokes, may our mistakes acknowledged and rectified within us be no more than vain mirages, powerless to bring any consequences, and pressing our foot down firmly upon all that no longer should exist, on all ignorance, all obscurity, all egoism. May we take our flight boldly towards higher horizons, wider horizons, an intense light, a more perfect compassion, a more disinterested love towards thee. The last word, disinterested love. कि अब तो प्रोग्रेस भी नहीं चाहिए मदर से, जो देना है दे दो, जो नहीं देना वो दे दो. Like that, giving, when you have offered all of you to the divine, then what are you asking for, right? So, and in one of the prayers again, mother says, if you are giving me darkness, I happily take, because there must be some purpose to it. So not asking the divine for anything, because we have so much that we have been given. If there are realizations to happen, they will happen as and when the divine wants. If you are to progress, the progress will also happen if one continues to be responsible to make enough use of the opportunity provided to us. Not to slack down, as Kevin was sharing, that not to say that, oh, I have everything now, I can, just, even in that laziness, you are making tea for yourself, you are making yourself a coffee, you are getting up. Come on. So it's not like complete laziness. You are getting up. So let's be honest to ourselves that we make the best use of the opportunity that has been given to us as a human being. The mind that is there, so sharp, so much can it think. The heart can feel so much. The body can endure so much. So making use of that best possibility, opportunity, leaving all the rest to the mother, not caring about our progress and not gauging our progress on any scale, because we can't do that. So any last comments before we break? Anyone online or here? Anyone? I think I maybe gave you a double dose of what already we were taking. Yeah. This happens, when this mic comes to you, even when you don't want to speak, you begin to speak. So fault is not mine. How to control the chatter going on in our mind all the time? Train the mind. We train the mind. No? It's a process. Somebody had suggested here, one of the speakers, some of the other workshops, she had suggested that uh, when you listen to the background chatter, of course, first of all, don't fight with it. Like wherever you are, she didn't suggest not fight. What she suggested, I will come to you later. Like if there are ants and spiders in your room, right now you are not bothering about them, right? They are walking around maybe on that wall, that wall, that wall, but you are not focusing on them. You are letting them be. So the background chatter of the mind can trouble you only as long as your whole focus is on that. And also, this brings one point, major point, which I forgot. As long as I have promise from this world that this world will give me something lasting, the background chatter cannot leave you. Because what the background chatter is saying is about promises from this world only, right? What do we talk in background chatter? Thinking about this, that happened, that happened. But if crux we take, we will see that we are wanting to be happy, and that too, our happiness should not get disturbed. Lasting happiness we want from the things of this world. As long as we want that, which is our ignorance, the background chatter will have a hold upon me. But you will all have seen in the moments where you have lost things, where things have been taken away from you, maybe your health or a person, loved one, your job, your money. Such a relief, because now the promise does not hold for at least some time. Wow. So you come back to your breath, and you're not wanting anything from the world because you have just lost so much. Everything has been taken away from you. So then, in that moment of stillness, the background chatter does not have a hold, because you freshly experienced that this world, which is itself a beggar world, cannot give you anything lasting. It can give you experiences, which is it is giving. But the lasting happiness, the promise of which each one of us has in our mind, in our heart, we feel this happiness has to continue to come from this person. That person is unable to do that. That is not the design of the creation. So, to become very familiar with the law of impermanence, that this world, which is full of impermanent images and person and situations and circumstances, cannot give me anything lasting, then it does not have any promise for me. Like it doesn't attract me that much in that sense. Then the background chatter will not matter. So that person, that speaker I was talking to you about earlier, she said that if there is background chatter and say I am trying to concentrate on mother's name or breath or anything, I look at it as Greek and Latin, say some language which I don't understand. So if right now I speak Russian or some language, or some Greek and Latin which you all do not know about, you are still, you're not listening to me, right? My words don't mean anything to you. So as long as, two things here. First, to treat as a tool we can use, that you are not able to understand what the background chatter is telling you, right? One tool is that. The other perfection is that you understand that there is impermanence in this fleeting world. Nothing will last. No matter how beautiful a relationship you have right now, with my children, with my spouse, with the workplace that I have, it's not going to last, because that is not the way it is designed. So I cannot keep on expecting that lasting happiness from a place or a person or a situation. Once we are convinced of that reality, then the background chatter cannot distract me. Because every time in the background chatter, there is a promise. You're wanting something. Again, the begging bowl is up. De do, and everyone is a beggar. Each one is a beggar. What can beggar give another beggar? So whenever you see this begging bowl coming up, put it down, invert it, or throw it into the samundar. Give it away forever. Break it. And it is a very special quality begging bowl, mind you. It rises from the ashes. You have broken it a moment ago, saying to the mother, Mother, I will not beg you for anything. You have given me so much. It rises up again in the next moment. Phoenix. So to be cautious of this begging bowl rising up every time it enters again in the field. And that is what makes us complicated and unhappy. Because if the begging bowl is inverted, simple and happy, so much has been already given. Hmm? And when the begging bowl is inverted, there also we see that the mental chatter is relatively on the quieter side. And even if it is there, it's like a old machine that has been running for centuries. It will take some time to completely come to a halt. Even if it is there running in the background, it doesn't bother you. It doesn't bother you. It has no grip over you. You know it as a force of old sanskaras or tendencies, but nothing more than that. And like in you it operates, in other person also it operates. It their mind also chatters, but the person is trying his best not to listen to the chatter. So be empathetic. Hmm. Okay, so I think, yeah, perfectly one. Now we can maybe stop here, if not anything, and enjoy your lunch wherever you are having it. And thank you for being here. Thank you for listening to so much. Yeah, so proud of you. Yeah. Thank you so much, everyone. We meet again at 2:30 for the afternoon session with the afternoon link. Yeah. Thank you. Bye-bye.